All right. Welcome to a road trip from Front Royal, Virginia. Heading to play the slots, Charlestown, West by God, Virginia. All right, man, fair amount of traffic to start this journey. Yeah, it's nice, cold, sunny day. It is 1 o'clock. Pretty busy. All right, already breaking the law. Yeah, it's all right. Do what you got to do, man, when you're making time. All right, cruising up Royal Avenue. Wow, super slow. Looks like there's some police activity about a half mile up the road. Let's see what that's all about. Yeah, always something going on in Front Royal. Whew, it's a cold one. Got down to about 13 this morning. So we are in the definite coldest part of winter so far. It's been something. There goes the Copperoo. I'm not sure what he was doing. All right, seemed to be clear. All right. Passing by Service Tire and Battery, Catholic Charities, the old True Value hardware store. Used to be down on Main Street. Good old Naughty Pine restaurant and lounge. So, yeah, thanks for tagging along. Thought I'd pick a nice afternoon to head over to the casino, play some slots. All right, a little bit of traffic, but it's moving along. On the right here used to be a Mexican restaurant. Now it's a Hang 10 car wash with the Hawaii, what is that, the Hawaii symbol for hello or aloha something. I haven't been there. Not a big car wash guy. I like washing a car by hand. But it's a little chilly in the wintertime, so they have a nice business for people who don't want to get out of their cars. All right, now just heading up Shenandoah Avenue. Heading out of town. Not sure which way I'm going to go. There are multiple options. I'm not running Waze or GPS or anything since I've got the iPhone recording here, so kind of hard to multitask with the phone. So I'm just doing it like they did in the olden days, back in the 1900s. Don't have any paper maps anymore. But I know this route pretty well, so I think we'll get there without too much trouble. All right, crossing the South Fork Bridge. All right, we're just into Riverton, Strasburg Road crossing. I heard last night there was a fire down on Duck Street, so another wintertime fires are way too prevalent. It's down there on the left. It said it was a structure, the 300 block, so haven't heard anything else about it, but probably a single family home. They might have had kerosene heaters going, candles, or something else, but that can definitely be life-changing pretty fast when you lose your house. All right, cruising up the road here. Hey, another nice day. I love the sunshine. It's saying it's up to 41. So it'd be nice once the car gets up to temp. I don't mind the cold weather though. I'd rather have it cold than too hot. All right, here we are. Wow. 3 cars in sight. They're all Toyotas. Highlander, RAV4, and another RAV4 up there. And right there, 5 cars right there, all sport utilities. I like my sedan. I drive a Lexus IS. I've had it for a fair amount of time. Fun to drive, unassuming, got a nice engine. So, gets me where I'm trying to get to in some type of style. All right, so I got to decide. Right now, I'm just at north of town, approaching Riverton. So maybe for the sake of the video, I will. There's 2 options. I wanted to stay off the interstate. So option 1 was to take 66, take it west up to 81 north, all interstates, and then come up into West Virginia there, and then head over to Charlestown. So the other option is to stay on 522 here, 522 north, double toll gates 6 miles away. Pretty straight shot, bunch of traffic lights, and then make a right and then head toward Berryville. So the third option, which is what I'm going to take, I'm going to head toward Rockland. This is a nice drive. Hopefully my camera will stay intact. Still a little nervous. I got this thing on a magnetic window wall mount type thing. So it looks pretty stable, but you never know. If you hit a bump, it may go flying, which I would not be happy. I don't have a case on it at the moment, so I figured I'd make it a little lighter weight. So hey, we'll see. Hopefully I'll get my comfort level up on that. Not worry about it. But I had to mount it up a little higher there on the windshield so I could get a good video. So I like this camera though. I'm shooting in 4K. All right now I'm going over the railroad tracks. This bridge was probably took about 6 to 8 months to build a new bridge, as opposed to having the trains come through requiring the cars to stop. So there were some pretty big delays. And now it's smooth sailing. Speed limit's 33 here. So I'm not doing 30. I feel like this used to be more like a 45 zone. But I don't drive as crazy as I used to. These used to be pole position games for me on the back roads, especially when I had a stick shift car. Kind of fun. But yeah, I'm taking it easy. This car does have paddle shifts, which is kind of cool. Kind of makes it a little more of a driving experience, even though it's an automatic. It's a 6-speed automatic. Oh, there's a dog. What are you doing, doggy? Oh, buddy. I don't know if you can see that in the. Looks like he's eating some roadkill. All right, cruising along back roads here. This is going to take us up through the Shenandoah Golf Club. Also, Bowling Green is. We're not going to quite see Bowling Green. That's kind of behind it. But yeah, Front Royal has quite a few courses. When I was playing golf back in the high school days, I used to play Front Royal Golf Club. That was a 9-hole club. And then you basically would switch tees on the back nine, but essentially play the same holes over. So we get a little crowded, but it was cheap. I remember going out and after school, you could play for like $5, just walk the course. So that was kind of fun. That's when I had a good golf swing. And then I didn't. These roads are kind of tight. You got to be careful. You got to pay attention to vehicles. This little L turn is a blind. Okay. All right, nobody here. It's more like a 1.5 lane road. It's not quite too comfortable. No shoulder, other than rocks. So, but the road's been here a long time. There aren't that many accidents. You know, people are mainly taking other routes and So not a heavily traveled road. All right, if I were to make a right, that would have taken me by the Bowling Green Country Club. So I know a few folks that live along the golf course there. Nice country out here. But I'm just tooling down the road here. We're just gonna have a nice country road, and then eventually this is gonna pop us back out on 340. So essentially, same. It doesn't really save any time. It probably adds a little bit of time because of the reduced speed limits, but it's a fun road to cruise down. Very scenic. Oh, nice house for sale. Yeah, near the country club. Nice. I don't know if that's actually on the. Yeah, I think that is on the course. There's Shenandoah Valley Golf Club. Used to play quite a few gigs there. I was in a big band for many years. That was a nice spot to play. We play for different events, mainly like wedding receptions and things like that. They would also have dinners periodically here in a Bowling Green where people would just come out for the evening and we'd play 2-3 hours of music, dance club type stuff, and they'd have a full bar, full 3, 4, 5 course meal. So those were a good time. Get to get dressed up in a tux and play some good old swing music. All right. Still rolling along. All right. Now we're getting out of town here officially in 35 mile speed. And these are some big farms out here. Kind of lost track of who owns properties out here, but there's a big house on the left there. Yeah, beautiful part of the world. You guys here doing some landscaping or utility work. Not quite sure what they're doing. Cold day to be doing it, whatever it is. 39 degrees. Sunshine's nice though. All right. All right. Now we're in Clark County. It's where they like to put down double yellows. Yeah, somebody littering. Nice. The road less traveled, except by me. Yeah, I prefer the back roads any day, especially when you're not in a hurry. Just let things roll. farmhouse for rent. All right, coming up on railroad tracks. If you go straight, it turns in more of a back road. But I'm going to go right and head to White Post. So if you're not familiar with White Post, I'll show you in a couple minutes why they call it White Post. I'll give you a hint. It's got a white post. I think in the last 2 years, it's been knocked down twice. So yeah, drivers, pretty hard to miss it. But I guess at least 2 people did. Well, I guess most people missed it. 2 people hit it. But they rebuilt it. You kind of have to, unless you change the town name to knock down White Post. No White Post. White Post gone. You know, you fill in the blank. Do what you want. Santa Claus still out. Yeah, a lot of neat homes. These are not cookie cutter type homes. A lot of these bigger, older style. They could be from the, I don't know, early 1900s on up. All right, getting into White Post. So speed limit is 25. There's a neat car restoration facility here on the left. Classic cars, that type of thing. Pretty big property. See a bunch of warehouses. Who knows what kind of gems are behind those doors. Pretty low key though. They don't want any bad people coming around snooping. All right. Now we're at our 4-way stop at Sinclair Gasoline, Stephen City, Barry's Ferry. What is that? Greenway Court and Middletown. Yeah. Looks like they're building some stuff. Old Church, White Post, United Methodist. All right, now we're going to take a right and continue toward Berryville. Lord Fairfax Highway. All right. Making good time. There's usually some slow traffic. But like I said, I don't drive too excessively fast these days. Even though this car has the capabilities. There's Law Bear. Not too far back, they were robbed. Some very expensive wines were taken. I didn't even know they had a good wine cellar, but somebody did. I think they recovered them, but and there's always somebody looking to do mischief. All right, now we're getting towards Route 50 and 340, which we're on. We are going to go straight. Yeah, more traffic than typical. I don't know. Maybe it's the time of day that many times I'll head out early in the day, but I had some things to get done, so I didn't get started until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So maybe this is what 1 o'clock looks like as far as traffic. But again, people are moving along. It's just, yeah, I usually have open road. All right, so we're just coming through Waterloo. Nice Sheetz gas station there. They have good beer. You can usually find Flying Dog there, but a little harder to find now. They were based in Frederick, Maryland for a lot of years after they bought out Frederick Brewing Company, and they had a brewery there where I used to work, same road. A lot of kind of a technical warehouse type area, and then something happened. Somebody company from New York, I think, purchased Flying Dog, and I'm pretty sure they shut down the Frederick location. So that's kind of a bummer. And they were also originally out of, I believe, Colorado. So they weren't originally in Frederick, but they basically were thinking, hey, we want an East Coast presence as well. So what, instead of shipping everything cross country, let's set up a separate brewery here, at least take care of the Mid Atlantic area. So it seemed like a smart idea. But either they fell on hard times or they just took the money and run, as old Stevie Miller would say. I do like their beers, though. It took me a while to get used to them. Dogfish is my favorite brewery uh, since they pretty much came to existence. It's probably in the late 90s. A vacation up in Rehoboth quite a bit throughout the years. Rehoboth, Ocean City. And it was around the late 90s up there and just happened upon their their restaurant, which I believe at the same time was kind of their brewery as well. And I had one of their 90-minute IPAs. I'm like, oh man, whew, good stuff. People weren't making beers like that back then. And yeah, I could talk for hours on the Dogfish experience. But if you like IPAs and aren't familiar, check them out. Dogfish Head Brewery. That's a cool little car. Yeah, and actually on the just past Berryville proper here, once we get across Route 7, there's a really good gas station on the right. I believe it's called 340, Route 340 gas or something. Not sure what brand the gas they have. It might be BP or just generic. They have a good beer cave in there, and they usually have Dogfish as well as a bunch of other flavors that are that are pretty tasty. So I'm not going to stop right now. I'm going to stop on the way back, but I will certainly point it out when we get there. Meanwhile, just cruising along, uneventful. That's the way I like it. I'm not sure what this guy in front of me is hauling, but something industrial. Kind of looks like ice. I wonder if it's like ice containers or something, or maybe it's I don't know, something commercial. Yeah, off to the right here, toward Millwood. Some beautiful homes tucked away back there. Yeah, also along the right here, I'm not exactly sure how big this property is, but you see the stone line fencing. There's a huge home there, which I'm sure dates back hundreds of years, kind of like a plantation style estate. But I mean, it's driving along here. It's there's one of the entrances. Yeah, it's probably, yeah, I would have to say it's at least 100 acres property. So yeah, pretty neat. But yeah, I never tried to drive in there. It's called Llewellyn Farm. It's the main entrance. But yeah, I mean, just the road, just the frontage is about a mile long, and right about there. So yeah, nice big estate. Probably in 50 years, it'll be Llewellyn condos, urban sprawl, Llewellyn urban sprawl, town center. Can't fight progress, you know. It's starting to cloud up a bit. We're supposed to get some snowstorms heading into the weekend, but nothing substantial yet. It's certainly been cold enough, but apparently there's some precip on its way. So I'm excited. I like snow. And these guys in front of me are clipping along. Not exactly driving slow. All right, now I caught up. Speed trap forthcoming. Comes down to 45, then 35, then 25. So yeah, not smart to be zooming through here. It even has a little, this is your speed. So that usually scares people enough to hit their brakes. So it's a good idea. There it is. Is it on? No, it's not telling me my speed. I'm doing 31. All right. Hopefully you're still sticking along as we get to Berryville. Yeah, normally it's about a 30-minute drive from Front Royal. Took me a little longer because I took the back roads. And there's traffic, so that's definitely a factor as well, other than the fact you can't predict traffic lights. Some days you hit them, some days you don't. But they definitely slow things down. Yeah, there's a Corona Premier 18-wheeler. 90 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs, and 0% of flavor. Huh. Yeah, I guess somebody's drinking it. All right. Yeah, I'm usually jamming Sirius XM when I'm taking little road trips, so this is a different experience. Certainly with YouTube overlord, you can't do much as far as music goes. They'll slap copyright infringements on you, and then that's not a good day. So the audio is off, which is kind of nice. It's, you know, there are so many competing things in the world for one's attention. Yeah, kind of nice just to have a simple drive. Wow, the sky is looking pretty ominous there to get some snow flurries, even though it's 39 and it's still sunny. Just a weird. Yeah, it just looks like something's going on. Like if this were the summer, it would be a thunderstorm. Yeah, interesting. We'll see what comes of it. All right, we're approaching my favorite beer stop in this area. Yeah, not many carry the Dogfish 90-minute. These guys do. GB, they're called, whatever that is. GB Petroleum. Oh, pretty busy. But like I said, yeah, I'm going to stop on the way back. Now it's getting a little cloudy. Yeah, I don't think this guy's going a pretty good clip in front of me. I think I'm just gonna hang back. We're going into a 45 zone in a couple miles, so it's really hard to make any time anyway on this road. They've been working on widening the road from pretty much the West Virginia line all the way towards Charlestown. So it's been a pretty big project. They put in some new bridges and they rerouted traffic a bunch of times. So it's civil engineers doing their best. You got to keep the traffic flowing while you try to make improvements is quite a task. So I think it's pretty cool to see the progress. It's gonna be nice when it's done. It's gonna be just like this road here. It's gonna be a divided highway, 2 lanes each way. So it'll make it a nice smooth trip coming from Berryville over to Charlestown. A lot of people use this road. And West Virginia's, they always seem to dig up federal funds for road projects and that type of thing. So they know how to write themselves checks. So these are expensive projects. So yeah, I'm going to stay behind this guy. Yeah, he's been driving pretty fast. But you never know when the police are going to be sitting in the median. All right, now we're at a 45 zone, work zone. It's a pretty long work zone. It's probably, I'd say it's a 5 mile stretch, probably. So we'll see what the road looks like today. So you see the merge right. So it used to, well, it still does turn into just a 1 lane road. But yeah, you can see toward the right is where the divided highway is gonna end up. So right now we're actually heading left. And right there on the left used to be the Rainbow Room. It got leveled. So yeah, now we're traveling on the newer part of the road, and they're still working on trying to level out the other side. Trucks entering highway. Yeah, no kidding. So yeah, they're getting there. They just got this one piece here, and then they need to do some paving. And I think they have one more bridge that they're trying to replace, which takes the longest, I think. Get all these hills of gravel and fill dirt. It's a real mess. But yeah, it's gonna be nice when it opens up. Boy, it has gotten cloudy. Savannah Praise Worship and Healing Center. And right on the corner here, there's going to be a tavern opening. Odd place to put a tavern. Right on the corner. But my guess is where there's a bar stool, there's usually somebody sitting at one. So I'll go check it out once they get open. My guess is they're trying to probably get open by the springtime, a couple months. All right, detour 1,500 feet. So now we're gonna jump over to the new lane. And now we're going over to the new roadway. Here we are. Yeah, now they're working on the other side. This is where the bridge they're working on. So we got a new bridge. We're going over here, and now they got to replace the bridge that was on the old road. They got to pretty much make it larger, taller. And, they're probably 50-year bridges. So you want to do it right. And a couple troopers. All right, now we're back on the old road. I'm going to get over to the passing lane. The right lane there is bumpy as all get out. This lane's not the smoothest either, but you cannot figure out what they're doing with the lanes. They're making them very bumpy. So I don't normally hang in the left lane, but I'm gonna stay over here unless somebody wants to pass me. Even bumpy here, but yeah, in a car with sport suspension, you feel every bump, which is good. Oh, hold on, I'm going. You feel every bump, so I'm gonna stay over. The right lane just looks ridiculous. I don't know if they're gonna repave it or what they're trying to do, but they basically patched it with asphalt. Now I can get over. Now it's a little better. So I'm not sure what their thinking was. Maybe they're patching for ooh, a nice car. That's a Maserati. Yeah, I wish I knew more about the road paving they do here. The same thing's happening up on 81 in West Virginia. So it's something West Virginia does. So maybe the road expands and contracts, and they're trying to compensate for that. I don't know, but it's irritating because you're just dry. It's not like a road under construction. It's just a bumpy road. So if anybody knows what that's all about, please leave me a comment. And now it's getting bumpy again. All right, I'm going to slow down a little bit and see if this car is going to pass me. That might be a Jaguar. I can't tell what this car is. It's an F type. Yeah, Jag. Look like a Maserati. That's a beast. I'll follow him. Yeah, that's a lot of car. He's probably not happy with this road either. All right. All right, Max, it's coming up here. I could have taken that exit right there, but you've got one, two, three, four traffic lights within about an eighth of a mile, and they're not timed, so it usually takes about 5 minutes to get through there. So I like coming up this way, taking kind of the side entrance. Flowing Springs Road, quarter mile. They actually improved this road too, so it's a little easier to navigate. Still working on it a little bit. Pretty much continual road work. But now you got 2 lanes here, which is nice. Used to be 1 lane and we'd get backed up. Okay. All right. Now we're getting pretty close. Circling back over 340. Got a little traffic circle. Used to not be a fan of traffic circles, but I kind of get them now instead of putting traffic lights in. Traffic circles keep you moving for the most part, and no maintenance as far as the state goes. They don't have to have all the traffic lights with all the utility box equipment. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Depending on the traffic flow, I think too. Works better. Okay, I just decided to see if I was paying attention. All right, now we're making our way to the entrance. Yeah, I usually park in east garage. All right, folks. Yeah, made it. All right, wish me luck. I'm here at Charlestown Casinos. Thanks for watching. Take care.